Insurance?
Well, long story long. I found the art thief in France, but ended up becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. So I had to stick around for a while. But I was able to handle all my insurance needs with CG's online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
K-Man, get ready for an adrenaline-fueled event like no other. Round 2 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, May 5th at South Sound Dock. Watch as K-Man's top riders push their jet skis to the limits. JJ McLean, Klein Glidden, Brandon Elliott, and so many others. Family-friendly atmosphere, free admission, food trucks, and non-stop entertainment. Feel the vibe and ride the wave with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 2 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, May 5th, South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM. For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And March for Jesus. 18th of May, visit christian.ky for more information.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Friday, the 3rd day of May 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. Friday, the 3rd of May, the date that the proclamation was made for the emancipation of apprentices in Grand Cayman, and it was read publicly on this particular date in 1835. And it read, whereas the situation of the inhabitants of the Grand Caymans, having engaged the particular attention of His Majesty's government, more especially as to the effect of the recent changes under the laws of the Imperial Parliament have upon the structure of society in those islands belonging to Great Britain, and where slavery formerly existed, and the opinion of the law office of the Crown having been obtained, I have received His Majesty's commands forthwith to communicate the decision at which they have arrived upon the question of, and then it goes on. So that's an excerpt from the proclamation of the emancipation of apprentices in Grand Cayman publicly read on the 3rd of May, 1835. Folks, I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that this segment of For the Record, the birthday shout-outs, brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. We again want to send special condolences to the family of the late Mr. Harrison Bothwell, his biological family, as well as his family at Cayman Airways, where he worked. I think he also worked possibly at Island Air, quite possibly for a while, but certainly at Cayman Airways. And again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to them, to both families, the Cayman Airways family as well as his biological family. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. I want to thank all of you who continue to subscribe and to listen to Radio Cayman, your radio station, the people's radio station. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs for today. We see first of all, Miss Lisa Galbraith celebrates her birthday today. We want to say happy birthday to Miss Lisa Galbraith. Also, Judy Henriquez celebrating a birthday today. Miss Ann Rice celebrating a birthday. And Tanya Grant also celebrating a birthday today. Upcoming birthdays tomorrow on the 4th of May, Janet Campbell celebrating a birthday. I think I have a few more here as well. We are told that today, Annette Stalmarsh celebrating a birthday, and yesterday, Rosanna Humphreys Johnson and Katie Ebanks celebrated their birthdays. And we have another one here, wishing my niece, Brianna Poi Fong, a happy birthday from her auntie Susie, parents, and the entire family as well. So Brianna Poi Fong, happy birthday greetings going out to you also. Making sure that I have checked all of those who are celebrating a birthday today, and to remind you that these birthday shout-outs would not have been possible without the support of our sponsors, Coca-Cola, and they're extremely proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. They tell you you should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And also by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. Okay, I think we've covered all of the birthday shout-outs as well this morning. I've covered all of them. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday today or over the weekend, because there will be no show on Monday as well, we ask you to please send those birthday shout-outs in to us, and we will share them here on Radio Cayman. We will have guest in the studio at 8:15. We will have the members of the Council of Older Persons in the studio with us at that time as well. So before then, we certainly will have an open line for you to call in. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. 949-6990, 949-8037. Our WhatsApp number, 925-3261 as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Maud Bush, 1887 to 1950.
Maud Bush of South Sound was trained as a nurse and a midwife by Dr. Overton in the 1920s. She delivered babies from Newlands to Georgetown, often for free, as the poor people had no means to pay. She never turned down a patient. She delivered babies until her health failed her shortly before her death. She was always in great demand. She had no children of her own, but she always referred to the babies she delivered as her children.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary District Governor David Cacaldi, First Lady Christina, the Rotary community of the Cayman Islands, the people of the Cayman Islands welcome Rotary District Conference 2024 attendees to the Cayman Islands. 14 countries, over 10 islands, over the Northwest Caribbean, an intersection of service above self. Rotary District 7020. The fellowship, the innovation, the service to community, to the region, to the world. Welcome District Conference Cayman 2024. Rotary, create hope in the world.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the feel.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. And I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Do you have a chronic illness? Are you a parent or guardian of a child with special health needs? Can you access healthcare services easily? We want to hear from you. From May 1st to May 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be undertaking a public consultation to help inform Cayman's new National Health Strategy. Tell us about your experiences with healthcare across all 3 islands by emailing mohfeedback@gov.ky or by logging on to gov.ky/health-wellness and complete the survey.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have about 8 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. One caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah. OC, when I called in the other day, but I didn't want to interrupt the dialogue that was going on between you and Tisha and Alfonso. With this, but concerning also a demonstration that took place on our Capitol Street steps, the steps of our Capitol building. Also, people should not bite the hand that feed them. But also, most of the people that come here, when they leave their place of the regime that they live that apparently treat them beyond human rights. They live without Cayman not being their intended destination.
Okay.
For some unseen reason, they wash up on our shores. We have my cousin Billy McLaughlin, Mr. Billy Adam, and the likes are there to assist them with little engine parts, some water, some food, because they want to continue their journey until you guys turn up. Then want to detain them, in my opinion, against their will. And we house them, costing us $1,000. I don't know if you have a number up to date, what cost to house them. And then you guys choose to repatriate them back to the regime that they are escaping from because of human rights conditions, which is always used because of the embargo against Cuba. It always throw that, it's against human rights, what he's doing over there. And so here are these people escaping that only for the Cayman Islands to send them back to that same condition that they try to escape from. Isn't that too against human rights? I wait for your clever words and your technical speciality.
Well, I will tell you
that negotiation.
I will tell you that
I would like to say, you all went over there and claim that the Fidel regime is evil and against human rights. Then that means you guys went over there and made a deal with the devil.
Okay, I hear your argument, and I won't say much, simply because I am a member of the Refugee Protection Appeals Tribunal, and as a result of that being there, it could appear that any decision that I partake in on that tribunal may be tainted if I express any personal views and especially publicly express any views, on that. I will say this much, that because countries may violate the human rights of they're individuals. One may argue that even the United States, the great United States of America, or our parent country, Great Britain, that to a certain extent that they violate the human rights of some of their citizens, as well. But because that violation of human rights may take place, does not necessarily mean that everyone who leaves there is a political refugee or falls under the protocols, and the convention as far as refugees are concerned. It doesn't necessarily, mean that as well.
Well, I don't really think, I didn't want to go as far as saying politically there would be political prosecutor there or just a political reason why they leave, but because of the regime that is in power is why they suffer and endure such hardship.
But that may not be grounds for them to claim asylum under the convention. And the protocols.
I'm not speaking anything about claiming asylum,
Okay.
I'm just talking about you guys choosing to repatriate them back to the hardship that they tried, that they took a chance in a little boat, something that meant you wouldn't go to catch baggage in, to come on a journey where I see women with children, baby children, choose to continue the journey.
So are you saying our action that we're contradictory in terms of what we're doing?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That we're sending some back?
No, not that you're sending some back. When you do send them back, send them back into a system that they try to escape from because of human rights or whatever, or the hardship that they was enduring over there. But when it's convenient for England and everybody else, then they use the human rights. Because of human rights is why the embargoes against Cuba.
Yeah, but you're talking about two. I think that's almost like a false equivalent because we're talking about two different things. We're talking about an international obligation under a treaty, and then you're talking. Huh?
You were part of negotiating the treaty. What treaty? The one between us and Cuba?
No, I'm talking about the Convention on the Protection of Refugees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, I went over and I was part of the negotiating team as far as the Memorandum of Understanding is concerned between the Cayman Islands and the Cuban government, that those persons who arrived in the Cayman Islands illegally and who then did not obtain refugee status, the ability for us to return them to Cuba, but not only the ability to return them, but to return them in a timely fashion because of the pressures, the amount of pressures, financial and otherwise, that were being placed on the Cayman Islands.
Well, I think there's a group that have been here for quite some time now. Have they claimed political asylum, or because you just said you got to return them in a timely fashion? I think this group been here quite some time. So, what are their status?
Well, it depends. Each individual status may be entirely different. I can't speak to that. Can't spep to that.
I said it. I said now, the chickens are coming home to roost.
Well, what's up for debate?
Right in the public.
Yeah, but what's up for debate? And this would be for another day as well. The right to demonstrate peacefully, as opposed to not having any right to foment insurrection or violent demonstrations. And here in the Cayman Islands, we have this tendency to say, oh, people come here and they demonstrate and they're not Caymanians. How many Caymanians are prepared to go out there and demonstrate for their own rights when they can legally do so as well? So we don't do it, but we criticize persons who do it. I'm not saying that what they did was right.
And I'm not condemning what they did. I'm not condemning that. That's why I say the chickens are coming home to roost. You all choose to hold those people here against their will. And I think a lot of them are being held here.
Another discussion for another day as well is whether or not what sort of exposure do we place on the Cayman Islands if we allow those persons to continue to travel in unsafe crafts to other countries, whether or not also we are then complacent in encouraging and assisting illegal migration. Because when they come here and they say, well, I'm going to Honduras, if you need a visa for Honduras and you don't have one and we're helping you to go to Honduras without a visa, how complicit are we? And what would happen if, unfortunately, some life is lost at sea as a result of the assistance that we have granted? It is a complicated issue. There's no right and wrong answer. We basically have to treat every particular situation the way that it presents itself to us. Lord Graham, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. When we're going to have the Council for Older Persons on until probably about 9:15 or so, and we will open back the phone lines after that. We welcome you to call in and talk again. And like I said, I'm limited in terms of what I can say or what I should say, simply being a member of the Refugee Protection Appeals Tribunal. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Emancipation Day is Monday, and the calendar is packed. Here's CIGTV's Donna Bush.
Recently, civil servants were selling various types of T-shirts to be worn this Friday, part of the Dress Down Day initiative. Emancipation Day was previously observed in the Cayman Islands before being replaced with the Constitution Day holiday by the Legislative Assembly back in the 1960s. Now, the reinstatement of the day as a national day of observance is the year-long culmination of research and examination of a number of concerns related to Cayman's cultural heritage. A number of events are taking place leading up to and on the Monday holiday, as well as throughout next week. On the 3rd of May, everyone is encouraged to proudly wear the vibrant colors of the Cayman Islands, blue, white, and red. On Sunday, the 5th, there's a church service at MZ Memorial Church at 4 p.m. And on the Monday holiday, you can travel down to Seafarers Way in Georgetown from 1 to 8 p.m. for Emancipation Day celebrations. We invite you, the public, to engage and participate in the upcoming campaigns. Now, for more details on all of the happenings this Emancipation Day, you can check out the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage's Facebook page or their Instagram page at MYSCH_Cayman.
Cayman Brac celebrates the achievements of its young talent with a night full of performances at the Aston Ruddy Center Thursday night. Radio Cayman's April Cummings was there.
24 performances, a jam-packed night of music, poetry, and dance, bringing the community together. The Aston Ruddy Center was packed as students of all ages showcased their talent here for the National Children's Festival of the Arts, Cayman Brac Edition.
My name is Chase Scott.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
11. So what did you perform tonight and what was it like?
I performed Sia Humba, and honestly, it was very exhilarating, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Without further ado, let the show begin.
Mark Knowlton has been serving as the MC for this event for more than 40 years now.
I have always been a supporter of Cayman Brac's young people. I think they are the future. And from the very first one I've done, I've seen these young people grow up and be part of the community as adults, and it's gratifying to see it.
April Cummings reporting from Cayman Brac for Radio Cayman News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Eileen McHugh. China has launched a rocket carrying a probe that will aim for the first time to collect samples from the far side of the moon and return them to Earth. The 53-day mission is part of Beijing's increasingly ambitious space program. Turkey's trade minister has said all imports and exports with Israel will remain suspended until there's a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Turkey had already announced trade would be halted until aid deliveries to Gaza improved. The US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has confirmed that Russian troops are now operating in an airbase in Niger that's hosting US military personnel. Mr. Austin said the Russians were in a separate compound. Germany has summoned a senior Russian diplomat in Berlin in protest after accusing hackers controlled by Russian military intelligence of a cyber attack. Police have entered the prestigious French university Sciences Po in Paris to remove students who occupied part of the building in protest against the war in Gaza. In Lyon, about 40 students were removed from the Sciences Po site there. An official with the World Health Organization has said that the agency does have a contingency plan in case Israel carries out an incursion into Rafah in Gaza. But the representative said the agency would be unable to prevent a substantial rise in deaths if the operation went ahead. A security alert is in place in the northeastern Indian state of Manipur on the first anniversary of the start of ethnic clashes. Events are being held to remember those killed. And the American newspaper, The Wall Street Journal, says it will move its Asia headquarters from Hong Kong to Singapore. A number of international publications have left Hong Kong since Beijing imposed new national security laws in 2020. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Rotary District Governor David Cacaldi, First Lady Christina, the Rotary community of the Cayman Islands, the people of the Cayman Islands welcome Rotary District Conference 2024 attendees to the Cayman Islands. 14 countries, over 10 islands, over the Northwest Caribbean, an intersection of service above self. Rotary District 7020. The fellowship, the innovation, the service to community, to the region, to the world. Welcome District Conference Cayman 2024. Rotary, create hope in the world.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Once again, good morning, my friends. Just about 9 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's take a look at your weather. It's mostly sunny there on the outside with some partial cloud cover. Real temperature right now about 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds out with east-northeast at 16 miles per hour. Relative humidity 75%. The barometric pressure is at 29.83 inches and falling. Some cloudiness and showers associated with a surface trough southwest of Cayman may spread into our area at times during the next 24 hours. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate, wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later this evening, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 or 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're at a high tide. Low tide will be at 12:28 this afternoon. High again at 6:40 this evening. And the outlook is for similar weather conditions through Monday morning. And that, my friends, is your latest weather brought to you by our friends at CG Britcay.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Once again, good morning, my friends. Let's take a look at the traffic situation coming out of the east-west arterial. Traffic is moving smoothly until you get to the Red Bay roundabout. Of course, you'll run into some traffic there. Some continuing on to Linford Pearson and Crew Road. We'll continue some slow-moving traffic into the Georgetown area. Some of them are going through South Sound, those heading up through Walker's Road. Well, meet some slow-moving traffic. Some of those going through Windsor Park. We'll run into some traffic there as well, Smith Road. South Church Streets onto Seafarers Way, slow-moving traffic. And of course, in Georgetown, looking at the Edward Street as you traverse slowly through the construction. Light traffic along Shedden Road. Of course, Eastern Avenue seeing its fair share of traffic out Phoenixon Way as well, into the westbound lane towards the Eastern Avenue. And of course, we're seeing some traffic at the Butterfield roundabout. Traffic coming off the SLE Tibbetts, some of it on North Side Road. Of course, heading towards the airport to catch a flight. Light traffic along Roberts Drive. Cayman Brack and Little Cayman seeing some light traffic this time of the morning. And that, my friends, is your latest traffic report. Buckle up and stay safe.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers of planned works on Frank Sound Road North Side on Friday, 3rd May. The work will begin at 8 a.m. and last until 3 p.m. Road crews will be on site to divert traffic, and customers in the area will experience no service interruptions over the duration of this planned works. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to our guests, I want to give a big shout out and a welcome back to Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, who's behind the controls here at Radio Cayman this morning. We want to welcome him back from a well-deserved, we can call it a mini vacation, Paul, a mini one, very small one, because you know what happens if you travel overseas, with your better half, and you end up being the chauffeur, and then you end up having to walk around when you get into those superstores and stuff like that. Walk around and look around, but you're going to be more of a chaperone than anything else. But welcome back, Silver Fox. So as I promised you earlier, we have representatives from the Council of Older Persons in the studio with us, and I'm going to say good morning and welcome to For the Record, and we're going to go around the room here and ask each person to introduce themselves, starting with you, Ms. Deidre.
Hi, good morning to the listening public, and thank you for having us. I'm Deirdre Carmola. I'm a board member, a representative from the Ministry of Education, and I sit on the Council of Older Persons.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassandra Farron. I am from the Department of Children and Family Services, and I'm the representative on the council from DCFS.
Okay. Bring that mic a little closer to you too, Miss.
Good morning.
I'm no stranger.
Good morning, everybody. This is Lucille Del Seymour. I'm the chairperson of the Older Persons Council, and we decided in our campaign that we would come often to remind all of us of the journey of being old, and that we would like to champion and promote Cayman as an age-friendly society.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the Age Proud campaign that we are embarking or have embarked upon, as well. And I would just like to say that when I like to talk about my age, especially when I'm out at 4 o'clock in the morning with all of the other cyclists, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 of them to in terms of their age to add up to mine. So I'm extremely proud of mine. I don't know when I'm unable to cycle anymore, what else will make me proud then, but certainly just my ability to get out there in the mornings that we do and cycle and to ride with those youngsters as well.
Mr. OC, you got 2 decades on me, so you're doing very well.
I want to say, OC, that is one of the reasons that I go out as well, and I'm very proud of you, to show the young people, to be role models for the young people about aging. Because that's exactly what our older folks did. They had the experience, and we were there, and they showed us, and they were our role models, not the movie actors and all of those persons and the songs, the musicians that we take as our role model. We have to take our older persons.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lean a little bit on my young ones today.
I'm going to give you all the mic, and you take it in whatever direction that you want.
It's good to have the intergenerational relationship, the young ones and the older ones together, so I can listen and let them hear, and then I will draw on my experience. And I'll ask Miss Cassandra, who's, I think she forgot to say that she's also the head of the elderly unit at the Children and Family Services.
Sorry.
Thank you, Miss Lucille. I guess I did neglect to say that. So, and I could just add that from the Older Persons Policy of 2016, Department of Children and Family Services formed a specialist social work team to deal with issues in regards to elder abuse and neglect and older persons who require specialist care. So there's a small team, 3 social workers and myself, that manage these cases that are reported to us. But we're here today to discuss two important topics: the Age Proud campaign, but also the Aging in Cayman Islands 2024 Forum that's coming up next month. So from the older persons policy, the council launched the Age Proud campaign in November of last year. And really that whole campaign is about ending these outdated perceptions and ending the stigma of ageism that we have seen in our communities. And we know that with ageism, or that attitude of ageism, it creates a lot of social issues for older persons. Things like neglect come from, not having value of older persons. Abuse, financial abuse, we talk about it quite a bit over at DCFS, that when persons think, older persons, they're old anyhow, and so they don't need to have all of this money, so why can't we take some of it? Those sort of things happen when there's an attitude of ageism, but also it gets passed down to children. And so one of the things that we're looking at is to change the public's perception of older persons. And the campaign portrays a lot of older persons in our community now who are aging positively. We want to be able to promote an age-friendly society, and I know Deirdre's mom as well is one of the persons in that campaign. So the campaign is out now. You might have seen some of it on social media, and it's also on CIG TV as well.
Yeah, because the whole point of the campaign is to change the thoughts and feelings and attitudes that people have towards the elderly. I say elderly all the time. I don't like saying older persons, but whatever they prefer. I mean, my mother is an older person at 87, and she's still driving, still very independent, gardening, washes her car, does her grocery shopping herself. So they're still living long lives and productive lives. So it's important that we, gravitate towards in being inclusive of older persons in society rather than sort of having them feel estranged from their own livelihood in the islands because they've made these islands.
Do you think that we need to involve our older persons more in what's transpiring in the Cayman Islands rather than putting them in the background? We always talk about the amount of institutional knowledge that the older persons have retired. In the civil service, for instance, sometimes when people retire from the civil service, you don't see them, you don't hear from them after they just fade away. How can we put them up front, get them up front, elevate them, and project their images and tap in to their the resources that they have?
Well, I think it's two parts, creating that age-friendly society, helping persons to age positively. It's two parts. So it's supporting the older person to continue to participate in community, to still put themselves out there, to not sort of socially distance themselves from community because they've retired and perhaps society is making them feel like they no longer have value. It's putting supports there to prevent that and try to help persons to develop this, show them that they have this value in society. But it's also the communities and society putting in the supports in place, such as policies, the World Health Organization talks about age-friendly societies, and there are 8 different domains that they promote that is needed in order for older persons to age well in the community, and still be socially accepted, still be able to participate. Things like transportation, things like accessibility to buildings and such, if there is mobility issues, proper health facilities, and
housing.
And housing.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is quite a bit that can be done. The council recognizes this. So one of the things that the council does as well is to educate on the social issues, and that's part of the Age Proud campaign as well.
Okay.
But also to educate the public on there is an older person's council, and there are representatives from all districts and Cayman Brac and Little Cayman that sit on the council, and these are all older persons who represent the needs of their particular communities to government. And of course we have the older persons policy of 2016 as well, which has a lot of action plans in there that support creating that age-friendly society. So that's part of the education as well, our education campaign, that we want the public to recognize it's not just government that needs to bring about some of these initiatives, but that there are many business opportunities, many opportunities for individuals as well to provide services and products to meet the needs of older persons in the country.
Okay, Miss Lucille, you want?
We have to constantly have similar forums like this to remind people that the journey of life begins with childhood and ends with older persons, but it's one continuum. But if we don't see it as one continuum, we will constantly be separating. And so when the younger person becomes old, they were not taught. They were not taught that this is a journey. And to your point, if we constantly have older persons in our schools, with our children, working with our children to show so that they see that this is a continuum, and I will become like that one day,
yes.
Unless I die. And I think we must give kudos to the government for 2016, 17, putting in a law despite of its frailties. And they are now trying to redo that law so they can be a little more beneficial. But we have to, let's take the Civil Service Association, where all of us have retired. But what connection do they have with us? Let's take our own pension civil service. What connection do they have with us? Except they may say you're getting $84 a month as a bonus. But if they could, but I must give credit to Credit Union. Credit Union has paid for services, and I myself went there and learned something. So we need the civil service itself, where most of the pensioners are. So if the civil service could garner and get us back as temporary members, I think we could have a relationship with our younger people. And we really need that relationship. Because what has happened, OC, people come in here with their cultures. And we know, you know, all of us who have studied abroad, that people do not have that kinship for older people like we do in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And what has happened here, as we have left our old person, and I'm talking about people younger than me. And I was saying to you earlier, I don't see my age group when I go out. And something has to be wrong with that.
Yeah, so we
are.
We want to restore those traditions of respecting older persons in the community.
Yes. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return on a personal level, Ms. Deidre, you spoke about your mother, and we'd like you to share your personal experience and how you're able to interact with her, what you have learned from not only her but from your dad, as well. While he was alive, we all have gone through that experience. You're extremely fortunate to still have one parent, who is alive, and you can certainly give testament to your experience and what you have achieved as a result of having that experience as well. Folks, quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, K-Man, this is Pastor Elsony Banks. I want to invite you to come out and join us on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 for March for Jesus. I remember those events from years past, and I'm so happy we're doing them again. So join us on Saturday, May 18th, March for Jesus, celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ.
For more information, visit Christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777. This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're talking with members of the Council of Older Persons here in the Cayman Islands. We're talking about their Age Proud campaign, but we're also talking, about other issues as they relate to older persons. That conversation has taken place with Miss Lucille Seymour, who's the council chair person and also the Georgetown representative. Also in the studio with me, we have Miss Cassandra Farron, who is a council member, but she's also a social worker, and Miss Deidre Carmola, who's a council member with special emphasis on education. And like you heard before we went to the commercial break, we're going to ask her to speak of her experience and what she has learned and what she looks forward to as far as having one elder parent who's still alive. Miss Deidre.
Well, I'd say that what I've learned from my parents is the level of independence. They aged gracefully. They moved from this island to the Brac, where they established themselves and built a home. As an elderly person, they built another home, and I think that speaks volumes. But I also got sick at one point with stage 4 cancer, and my mother became my caregiver.
Wow.
So that was an important part, and it was funny because she would have to push me in a wheelchair and travel with me overseas. And oftentimes you got these strange looks because here she was pushing me, and it was really, it took me back sometimes. But without having her caregiving, I probably wouldn't have survived as well. And it's been where I was overseas for periods of time, like 9 months, and she was able to come into my home and raise my children during that time. So I've been blessed to have such an independent mother, and a mother that doesn't have the ailments that maybe some other older persons have. But it also creates a level of respect for me, for her, you know, and it saddens sometimes when you hear the stories of the abuse and the advantages that people take of their older persons just because they can't do as much. And I think that's where we've fallen down in this society, is that we haven't really seen them as being more than just getting old, you know, because there's still a lot they can do. I mean, when I go to the States, especially for my treatments and so forth, I see a lot of older persons who work as sort of even concierge type things in the hospitals. They're there to give direction. They're there to give out information. They work in the grocery stores. They do bagging, and they still have a place in society. And I think we could benefit from ensuring that there's some form of even job opportunities for older persons, not just because they've retired, they should just go home and sort of fade away. And I think that's where you find that those that are not active and those that don't have that interrelationship with persons, they do tend to fade away, and they tend to become more sick and so forth. And I think that's where my mother's benefits came from. She didn't have time to sit down and to fade away. She was up and about and traveling with me and taking care of me, and it's really was a miracle, actually.
Great, that's such a great story, you know, for you to tell as well. Now, ladies, Ms. Dedra also mentioned the fact that her parents built a second home, went back to Cayman Brac and built a home again after retiring and everything. How important in the Cayman Islands is that home where you grow up? We see in many other jurisdictions, and it may turn out influencing us here in the Cayman Islands as we get more and more persons coming to the Cayman Islands and living, and whose outlook and whose perspective on life and the activity of older persons, where other jurisdictions, they have a tendency to put them in, you know, in an aging, their parents in an aging home because of various circumstances, travel distances and everything else, maybe not as close-knit a community as we are here. How important is that home to our older persons in the Cayman Islands?
Well, as someone that is an older person and hitting her 80th birthday, I think it's very important. I don't mind people coming near me and coming with me or attending to me, but I want to be in my own home. I still have interest in doing a little gardening, and sometimes I do a little housework. I drive my own car. I drive a truck, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Yeah.
For the last 20 years, and I go out, and I have young friends who will invite me places. And I try to go to things, anything that is free in Cayman, I go to. If it costs over $50, I'm not going to go because I don't have that kind of money. But what I have learned, and I tell myself every day, I get up and go somewhere or go to see someone. Or I call, I'm glad I can use the WhatsApp. I WhatsApp at least 10 people every day. How are you? Or I send pictures. I like photography. So you really must create your own life in a way, but you have to have good friends. I have almost the same friends I had when I was a child, except those who have passed on. But housing, I think Miss Cassandra will perhaps talk about that in a forum later. But when you have people in their own home and they can do things, some of the problems OC with older persons, and yet we haven't touched it, is that sometimes they have a lot of pain, you know, and when you have pain, you don't want to do anything, so you sit down and you complain about your pain. But if we could find a way to have a lot of old people get physiotherapy. I do physiotherapy twice a week. I pay for that, you know, and to help me with my bones. That is a big issue, and you would know that too, who's next to me, really.
Yep.
But I'd like to have Ms. Cassandra talk about, you know, what we're going to do with the forum in terms of making people aware of the home and how you change up that home to accommodate you.
Okay, Ms. Cassandra.
Yes, I was going to add that housing is quite a big issue in terms of older persons aging in place. It's very important that if they want to age in place, that they have a home that's suitable to be able to age in place. We know some persons don't have a home. They have to rent. Perhaps they have to have assistance from the welfare system in order to, you know, have a home, or they live with family. I know perhaps it's not as frequent as it was, you know, maybe 2 generations ago, where multiple generations lived in a home and families took care of the older persons. Not quite so at this time. Sometimes we have older persons who live in their own home with family, but family doesn't take care of them. So housing is a big issue. We know there's also lack of residential care and assisted living in the country as well, because sometimes older persons, yes, want to age in place, but they may, you know, based on their medical conditions, require a change of living accommodation. So, and the council doesn't just want to focus on the gaps in services for older persons. So at this time, we decided that we really needed to highlight social issues in the country and take opportunity to educate the public on what they need to do in order to prepare for aging. So we're bringing the first ever Forum on Aging to the general public on the 15th of June. That's actually recognized as an international day. It's World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It's a Saturday. We're having a forum at the UCCI Hall, the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. It starts at 8:30 and we'll finish at 3 p.m. And there we'll have several different components. So we'll have key presenters talking about various topics. One of them is preparing your home for aging. A key topic, because yes, people want to age in place, but is it suitable if they needed to have a caregiver there? Is it suitable if they have mobility issues and have risk of fall? Are they still able to keep all of their furnishings and all of the, sometimes people collect things. Is there space for that? Is things that they use on a regular basis in reach, or is it something they have to climb to get, or do they have stairs? Is their bathroom accessible and safe? Is there, suppose they were in a wheelchair, is there ramps, including access to outside? Because sometimes people are confined in their home with no access to outside. And that's important, to be able to connect with living things, not just people, but also trees, animals,
breathe that fresh air.
Yeah,
so get out and do some gardening.
Yes. And so that's one of the topics that we're presenting. We also are going to be talking on changing lifestyles and behaviors of aging. So this forum is not just for older persons. This forum is for everybody in the everybody in the Cayman Islands, people who take care of older persons, families with older persons, people who are preparing for aging, maybe nearing retirement, people with special interest in the topic of aging come out to it. So we'll talk about what aging looks like, what might be the changes people might see. Sometimes families, have older persons and their families, and they're seeing some changes that they don't understand. Well, this is opportunity for you then to be educated on this. We also want to be able to have presentations on what aging well in the community looks like. So we're quite excited for this. There's opportunity for people to come to network with various providers of services to older persons, as well as we're going to have specialty booths there, organizations that already provide services to older persons. So if you don't know about what resources are available, come out to the forum. If you want to hear some information specifically on those topics, then come out to the forum. But if you have something to offer as well, come out to the forum. We'll have some more information coming up about registration. But save the date, 15th of June, Saturday, 8:30 until 3 o'clock.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, one of our listeners wanted to know how will the persons in the sister islands be able to participate in this forum as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're talking about the Age Proud campaign, and in particular we're talking about the forum that will be taking place in June. The conversation is taking place with Miss Lucille Seymour, who's the council chairperson for older persons, as well as the Georgetown representative, Miss Cassandra Ferran, who's a council member and also a social worker, and Miss Deidre Carmola, who's a council member, and she covers education as a council member as well. So a question in relation to participation for residents of our sister islands as well.
So we have considered the residents of the sister islands. If persons aren't able to come over to attend in person, the sessions are going to be recorded and played later on CIG TV. So we're having them recorded on that day, and then we will have them re-aired on CIG TV. And the good thing about CIG TV is that they are able to be re-aired several times.
Because we have exciting lineup of presenters. We have Fiona McDougall, owner of Director of Health and Futures Limited, as well as Dr. Sanku Gupta from Health City, and he'll be presenting on changing lifestyles and behaviors of aging.
Sounds great. Now, one question that I have in relation, we always talk about data points, data in the Cayman Islands. We know that we rely on the Economics and Statistics Office, in terms of or census data. Mm-hmm. But do you compile any figures in terms of the various ages in the district? Are you able to identify persons who have reached a certain age, or maybe even their condition may put them in the category that you are catering to, that you have an interest in terms of protecting and reaching as well? Do we have any data in relation to age, the age disparity?
The census. In 2010, the census told us there were
pull that mic towards you.
2,832.
Okay.
Older persons, 65 up.
65 and up, okay.
Not 65 down. And then now in 2021, they doubled 5,000 something. And that goes with what the world population is saying, that the older person 65 and older will triple by 2050 to billion. Billions now.
1.6
So the
billion.
world is telling us that because people are looking a little better, they are living longer. They are looking more at their health, and so they're living longer. That age is going to triple. So Cayman, that is one of the reasons that we're trying to ensure that we maintain this age-friendly society. Because if we increase our population, we have to do better for them.
Yes.
And they're living longer.
Okay.
And it's true. I mean, you can remember, and I can remember, when a person was about 60, we thought he or she was very old. And today, that's the new 40.
Yep.
80 is the new 60, and 70 is the new whatever. But people are, it's amazing how some people are aging well. And they have about 5 places in the world, that, like Okinawa, and where these people who live simple lives. And one of the things when they interviewed them, they said, very few smoked cigarette, but many drank wine. And they were working in their gardens, and they were doing all sorts of things. So we have to really start looking at our younger population, not just the age we are. And it's important that we we get into the schools and we align ourselves with young people to remind them again of this journey. I don't know if you want to comment.
And just to add to what Miss Lucia said, yes, we do need to start looking at the younger population, because we looked at the stats the census brought and the growth in the last 10 years. But what we also know is that there's another group that's also fast growing, and that group is the persons age 50 plus. So those are the ones on the verge of becoming older persons within the next 10 years. And we will have even more. So what do we have to offer? What does the country have in place for these persons who are coming up now and expecting more because of longer life? So these are things that we need to consider. What's in place for older persons now, but also how can we meet the needs of the older persons coming up within the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm. So then, in addition to highlighting the available resources for older persons and their families, which will help to reduce the inequalities that people may experience as they age, it is also to be forward-looking to see what additional challenges there will be as those numbers start to increase, like Ms. Lucille has pointed out as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think that we got mental health issues that are associated with aging, like dementia and other health conditions, we got to think about how that's going to affect the majority of people and the caregiving that comes with that. You know, people that have Alzheimer's, people that have Parkinson's, they become very codependent on someone else in order to live out. And, you know, Cynical has coverage, but not everybody has Cynical in order to pay for caregiving, and caregiving is quite expensive. You're looking at $1,200 a month in basic caregiving person to live in and take care of, and mostly an elderly person or a person that's unable to take care of themselves. So those are other areas that we need to think about that are affecting our society and people's ability to live.
Yeah.
And what can the government as well as the private sector do to move us forward with those things?
Well, they're going to have to take some initiative planning. You got to look and see based on the needs now, and if we take what the census is telling us and the age group, like for myself, we're in our early 50s, how many of us are in 10 years are going to be in our early 60s, which will also bring a good amount of people who are going into retirement. And then we'd have to look and see whether those persons can really survive off of what's left for retirement funding, because, as you know, the private sector's payout on pension isn't enough to live on monthly. It'd be different for those persons coming out of the public sector who have a little more pension payout, but essentially you can have a very decent pension, but because of the way the pension law is written, you only have a minimum amount of pension that you can receive per month. And that's going to impact somebody's ability to live and to have a fruitful life and to have caregiving and to be able to remain independent. So there are lots of factors that the government has to think about, and it's going to be something that they cannot just sit by and put their heads in the sand and think it's just going to roll away.
Yeah.
And she's making very good points. I'd just like to add that we're going to have to look not just at retirement, but rehirement. I still feel that if you retire someone at 65, and look at me, I'm plenty years more than that. I don't want to work, but I can work. And I look at people who you retire, that become poor, poorer than when they were before. Something is not right about that. So they're going to have to look at their labor system, their workforce system. Can we bring in people? Can we bring in people for all these jobs that we have? For example, let's look at Burger King, working in Burger King. Is that where, I'm not saying that's where all the retirement must be, but if you have retired and you had a fulfilling job and you want to do some work, and in the U.S. and England and all those places, that's where you see a lot of the older persons. They are doing a second job. So that is the government and the political directorate are going to have to rethink, are we going to fill those posts by outside people? Or are we going to have to look within? The other thing is that we have never had such an educated retired set of people as we have now. So what you're going to do, you retire people that were lawyers and all sorts of people, well-educated people. You've got to find something for them to do, create things so that they can be part of the workforce again. You know, they can be thinkers and the government can pay them, you know, to help do things. You have the NICE program. Who follows that up? you get them to work on that. So it just takes some creativity and will. But I also going to put a bum in here too, not a bum that might say, we might have to think now of what it is. We might have to look at some sort of tax system for the people, for our people, to make sure that they can live well. Because we will have to rethink the pension, the private pension, because I have a friend, we went to school together, she's more brilliant than I am, and she doesn't have a pension anymore.
Wow.
She has utilized her pension. Luckily for her, and she's just in her late 70s, luckily for her, she has 2 good children. So what if you don't have children? So what if you don't have good children?
Yeah, because you have a lot of people who
and I think this is real serious, See, and I expect people like you, who have a voice and a very brilliant man, to keep bringing these things up.
Yeah.
So that we can hire people or retired people.
Okay. Sorry.
We have a lot of people who are retiring who haven't even finished paying off their mortgage.
Yeah.
And that private pension payout does not cover a mortgage payment.
And can I just add as well, those are really good points that Deidre and Miss Lucille shared, but I think there's a call also to private sector. It's not just government that needs to do this. And also older persons themselves to keep themselves healthy. We know one of the biggest risk factors of dementia and Alzheimer's is inactivity. So keeping active, keeping fit is something that persons really need to be aware of, because people are already aging longer because of health care. So continue to keep yourself healthy, that perhaps you don't need to go on medications and such. Also, private sector, can, offer new businesses that cater to older persons. Specialist transportation, we don't really have that here. Specialist housing, assisted living, there's lots of developments going on now, but none really that cater to older persons or persons with disabilities. So those are needed. Also, insurance products, things that perhaps persons my age can start, or people that are younger can start paying into now, to be able to have home health care when they need it later on. So there are lots of opportunities that can prepare our society for aging.
Now, we know you ladies are going to stay with us at least until 9:15, I think, right? Or is it 9?
9:15.
9:15? Okay, we're going to take our break for headline news. When we return, the conversation will continue. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Right, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Heading to the airport this weekend? Plan ahead, as many people will be traveling on Emancipation Day. Passengers and those dropping off or picking them up are reminded to arrange alternate means of transportation to and from Owen Roberts International Airport to help, quote, alleviate much of the congestion experienced in the short-term and long-term parking lots. UK Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron has said it is up to Ukraine to decide how to use British weapons and insisted it has the right to strike targets on Russian territory. During a visit to Kyiv, he said the UK would provide £3 billion per year as long as necessary. Russia condemned what it called, quote, another very dangerous statement. The U.S. has reportedly urged Ukraine to halt its strikes on oil refineries in Russia, fearing it could provoke an escalation of the conflict. Turkey has suspended all trade with Israel over its offensive in Gaza, citing the, quote, worsening humanitarian tragedy in the Strip. The Turkish Trade Ministry said the measures would be in place until Israel allowed, quote, an uninterrupted and sufficient flow of aid into Gaza. Trade between the two countries was worth almost $7 billion last year. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The
Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're talking with representatives from the Council for Older Persons in the Cayman Islands. Ms. Cassandra Farron has left us. She has another commitment still in the studio. We have Ms. Lucille Seymour, who is the council chairperson, as well as the Georgetown representative, and Ms. Deidre Carmola, who's a council member, and her focus is on education. We do have a caller, so we're going to go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
And good morning to all your guests on For the
Good morning.
This morning. And I would like to shout out to Miss Lucille Seymour for her contribution this morning. I know that I don't have time to have a debate with everyone and to put things that I think forward, but I would just like to point out that most of the knowledge in Cayman is within the older people. I would say 98% of the knowledge about Cayman and in Cayman is with the older people who are getting older. It's not with the young people. The young people don't know much about their own country, their own existence. And the amazing thing for me is that I travel nearly every day, every week. Like I go to government buildings and I go to court, and I go to the administration buildings, and I go to the immigration buildings, and so forth. And I see all of these people there opening the doors, standing around, say there's security, and for all of these things. And I have never identified many of them as being Caymanian. And I keep wondering, why is it that all of those jobs that are not hazardous and are not taking a lot of physical strength and mental ability to do, why are they not secure for the older people? Like the people who open the doors in the administration building and who are the security guards and who are this and that. Why is it that everything is farmed out to somebody else? And these older people were the ones who actually built this country. I was just reading a book I got from the museum. The guy from the museum gave it to me a couple of weeks ago. It's called The History of Turtling and schooners and turtling in the Caribbean, in the Cayman. And I was amazed at the contribution that those people who gone before us made to put food on the table, to keep the island open with communications, to school their children, just to be able to live on the islands. And they've forgotten. They're just cast aside. And then all of a sudden now we have people from Nepal and all of these different places who know nothing about the country come, and they're getting these jobs that they might not be paying a lot, but they could supplement the little pension, as you people mentioned, that are limited to the Cayman people who have laid the foundation to have a pension. And it seems to me that the whole thing has to be there has to be a whole rethinking and a revamp of the system. And then when you look at things like the Constitution says that you can sit on the highest court in the land where you have to dispense the highest law, and you don't have to retire by age. It's about physical ability and infirmity that prevents you from carrying on. In other words, you can stay there till you die. Why is it that in those circumstances you could be a member of the court, but you can't be a member. You can't like Lucille said, you can't go to the schools, and you can't be an assistant teacher, or you can't go to the infant, what's it called, the preschools, and work where the children are growing up and pass on your knowledge to them so that they will have the knowledge of the history of the Cayman Islands. Most of my learning was not from any university professor. Most of my learning was from my ancestors. I followed them around. I was so fortunate to have been the oldest grandchild around my neighborhood with my people, and most of my knowledge came from them. I learned their ethics. I learned their mistakes. I learned to see how they reacted to different problems and how they solved them, and so forth and so forth. Why is it that we don't have some sort of system to keep them going, to keep them working? And then when you look at the Constitution about the whole thing about discrimination, you shouldn't discriminate about age and so forth. All of those things we sort of ignore. Why is it like that here? And then this forum that you're talking about. I mean, I don't know hear about this morning.
It's not until June. Not until June.
Yeah, pardon me?
It's taking place in June, so they're starting to promote it now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. That's great. But I know Miss Lucy said she didn't want to drop a bomb. I think she should drop a hydrogen bomb because all the things she say are completely true, and it seems to me that we are contradicting ourselves as we go along. It's a whole lot of contradiction on the one hand, and like the other people on your panel was saying about the ridiculous situation that when you work so hard and you give them your money for your pension, they only give you back a little bit, and it's not even enough for you to live off. That's not a pension. Then that's not a pension. That's not what we would call a pension in other countries. It seems to me that is more like a gift than something that you're entitled to. It's Lucille. I hope at your convention or what it is, your symposium or whatever you have in June, that you vigorously challenge these things and put the people that actually run the country to test to see, but to protect the people more and more and more and more.
Well, thank you very much, Doc. It's always a pleasure to listen to you and to get your contributions. You are right that our biggest resources is really our older persons, and we should be utilizing them much better than we're doing. And you are also right that the political directorate need to take it seriously to see how we are going to maintain our older persons throughout their lifetime.
Okay, Doc. Thank you very much for that, Doc. And one of our persons say that is, as I said before, immigration reform now, and the person says they wish that they were the minister responsible for immigration as well. One of our listeners has written in, and they said it's good to hear about the Council for Older Persons. My wife and I are octogenarians, and are longtime beneficiaries of the Health Services Authority. What has sometimes not been clear for us who live outside Georgetown is what services does the HSA provide for its older beneficiaries who may not always have easy transportation to Georgetown, where many of the essential services are centered? For example, collecting prescriptions for one thing. And they go on to ask the question, does the board provide some information about, such questions? Ms. Deidre?
Well, I mean, I know from the HSAs, they do have a special geriatric care clinic now with Dr. Bell. But of course, that's located in Georgetown, and they're speaking primarily about transportation issues. But with regards to the collection of pharmaceutical items, they can have them asked to have them distributed through their clinics in their districts. So, for example, if you lived in Bordentown and you'd handed in your prescription, you could either hand in that prescription at the Bordentown clinic, or you could hand it in at the Georgetown clinic and ask for those medication to be delivered to your district clinic. And that would alleviate transportation issues into town. There's nothing much that we can do right now about the geriatric clinic, because that is located in town. But I know that particularly different MLAs will assist with transportation for elderly, so it could be that they reach out to their district representatives to arrange transportation for when they need to go to the doctor and so forth.
That's
but at the moment, the pharmacy in Georgetown will deliver. At least I know they deliver in Georgetown, but that's something I could write to the pharmacist about to deliver, and that's a good point that the callers made. Thanks, Ms. Desiree.
Okay, we have to take another commercial break. How long can you be with us, Ms. Carmola?
Probably another 15 minutes.
Another 15 minutes? Okay, great. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, K-Man, this is Pastor Elson Banks. I want to invite you to come out and join us on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 for March for Jesus. I remember those events from years past, and I'm so happy we're doing them again. So join us on Saturday, May 18th, March for Jesus, celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ.
For more information, visit christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Do you have a chronic illness? Are you a parent or guardian of a child with special health needs? Can you access healthcare services easily? We want to hear from you. From May 1st to May 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be undertaking a public consultation to help inform Cayman's new National Health Strategy. Tell us about your experiences with healthcare across all 3 islands by emailing mohfeedback@gov.ky or by logging on to gov.ky/health-wellness and complete the survey.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record, talking with members of the Council for Older Persons here in the Cayman Islands, Ms. Deidre Carmola and Ms. Lucille Seymour. The same person who shared and asked the question about the provision of services, especially things like the delivery of prescriptions for the persons living outside the district of Georgetown. And they've pointed out that they say that apparently the district distribution of prescriptions has been discontinued. This was indicated to us by the Health Services Authority last week. I'm going to share this with you also. Those of you who are listening, you may want to take advantage of this and to share with others. Cayman Islands Conference is hosting a community services and health fair on Monday from 10 to 3 p.m. Members of the public are invited to come and enjoy seeing many ways of preparing delicious, healthy, local Caymanian foods prepared in many different ways. Says, join us this Monday, May 6th, at the Lions Center for a Grand Community and Health Expo from 10 to 3 p.m. We will have free of cost massages, cholesterol and glucose tests, learn your health age, physicians on hand to answer any questions, seedlings to take home and plant, health booth for our kids and a bouncing castle too, presentations on gardening, caring for the elderly, diabetes, and so much more. But bring some money with you. We will also have local farmers selling healthy, natural, non-GMO products, cooked food to taste and cooked food to buy. Join us on Monday, May 6th at the Lions Center. The young, middle-aged, and senior are all welcome. And they say that community and health expo should not be missed as well. Great information, great opportunity.
Holiday, right?
Yes, Monday the holiday,
Is that
the 6th.
Emancipation Day? Recognized for emancipation.
Well, that's when we will have the celebrations.
Okay.
Actually, today, the 3rd of May.
It's today.
Yeah. Is the recognized day.
Today.
Recognized day. Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad that the conference, and when they say the conference, this is a conference of
Monday, I think, is a celebration out town.
There's a celebration out town as well. That is from 1 until 5 p.m., but it's going to go on a little later than that as well. There's going to be a drone show. There's going to be fireworks display as well. That is a combination between the ministry as well as the Ministry of Tourism, Minister Bryan's Hogstay Bay event. They're basically combining the two as well. Yeah. We have about 7 minutes left. Ms. Lucille, you have committed to stay until 10 o'clock for the show until 10 o'clock as well, but Ms. Deidre will have to leave us. So I want to give her an opportunity for, any other comments that she may have and some closing remarks as well.
Well, I just want to remind persons about the Aging in Cayman Islands 2024 Forum, Saturday the 15th of June at Sir Vassal Johnson's Hall located at UCCI. The forum is free to the public, and it's important that persons come out, especially those that are caregivers for the elderly themselves. We want to remind persons of that we have presenters there from Health City and from Health Futures Limited. We're going to be talking about preparing your home for aging as well as aging well in the community. We'll have informational topics such as writing a will and testament, advanced care planning, mental health, retirement, and financial wellness. We'll be talking about the different various health conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as staying active as we age. So we want to ensure that this will be the first of this type of forum, and we want to successfully launch this so that this can be a repeat each year. Registration opens at 8:30 and the forum will run from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We'll serve a continental breakfast and a working lunch to attendees. So, and at this time, I'd just like to quickly take time to thank our ministry sponsors, who Ministry of Social Development, the Ministry of Heritage, Ministry of Health and Wellness, Ministry of Border Control and Labour, as well as the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. And a huge thank you to Hurley's, who will be providing the continental breakfast.
And again, who can attend?
Anybody
It's open to the public?
It's open to the public. We, when we speak of Hurley's, we remind the public, especially the elderly persons, that there's a 10% discount shopping on Thursdays for those of older persons. So it's something to take advantage of. And also on Wednesdays, Rubis has a discounted price on gas.
Yes, okay. Now, during this course of our conversation...
CNB has taken off the $5 off of the draft.
Okay,
off
that's
of the
great.
Something, yeah.
That's great, that's great. Now, during the course of our discussions, on air and off air as well, we have the issue of transportation has, cropped up several times, and we see driving on our roads becoming
more difficult.
more and more difficult and challenging, not only to older persons, but to the younger persons, as well. And it's quite obvious that we need to put a lot of focus on transportation, especially, transportation for our elders, as well. We really need to do that. You go to other jurisdictions and you see where, they have buses that will transport elderly persons to the supermarket, pick them up again from the supermarket and drop them off.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I would imagine that your council will be looking at as well.
But we have written to the Transport Authority about that. Everything here is private. Government doesn't have any transportation. Perhaps we can look and ask government to look into that. I think they will be getting, I believe someone said they'll be getting transportation for downtown. So maybe that could act too on special days to do transportation for older persons.
Okay, we have a voice note that we want to play as well from one of our listeners. Paul, go right ahead.
Good morning to OC and everybody. This is such a brilliant conversation this morning. OC, I am 73. I don't look old. I don't feel old. Yeah? I tell you something. Now, when you walk into some establishment, they should get the older folks to teach the younger folks how to greet their customers. Because you have some cashier at some places that I would never go to more than one time for the week, and that is if I have to. I have 30 odd years of cashiering from hotel to restaurant, and I tell you, OC, I enjoy it. I have my customer who will never go into another line. Wait on me, because you know how to greet with a smile and so on. You see? So you can get the older people to teach the younger people how to operate and keep their customer, because it is second guess that make your business go on. Yeah, OC? So I don't know why they don't want to. Not that I'm looking at a job. I'm not looking at a job. I'm contented and I'm giving thanks. But I'm just showing you the ways, get them to train younger people how to operate in the workplace. With a smile, know how to greet with a smile. When you go home, you deal with whatever problem you have to deal with. But you are dealing with the public now, and that is people's business. Yes? So thank you very much.
Well, I want to thank that caller for that, Ms. Lucille.
Yes, and she's right. It's really, that's what I'm saying, that a lot of things that are happening to people are cultures coming in and changing our culture. And we should do something about that. This is something we can speak to the tourism, or we can speak to the other ministries that work the trade and business and ask them, this is something that people are saying that there's not much courteousness exhibited, and it's true. Yeah. I witnessed it myself.
Now,
and I want to say something too, and I grew up in a society, in a country with a mother who used expletives, but I didn't grow up in a country that everywhere you went, there was the F word.
Yeah, yes.
It is becoming too common in Cayman, and it's still in our book as shocking the modesty of a woman. So I believe that we need to do something. But you can't go to a restaurant, bar now, anywhere, that word don't come over your head. Sometimes it licks you hard. The other time, the Caymanians, and I must say, if I'm in there and they look and see me and say, oh, sorry, that slipped out of my mouth. But other people do not.
Yeah. Now, you speak repeatedly about things that we will bring up with the ministries or whatever. Is there do you have a direct link with the ministries in terms of a contact in there? And if it isn't there, does the council need something like that for each ministry, the go-to person within that ministry if you have concerns or if you have suggestions, or is it done in an ad hoc manner?
Well, when complaints come to the council, they normally come to me personally.
Okay.
And we don't have any jurisdiction. We don't have any. The council doesn't have much of an administrative arm. So I will call the social services and say, this is so. Plus, if client-patient privilege, once I say it, I have to come out of it.
Yes, yeah.
You know how that works.
Right.
But on the council, for each ministry has a representative.
Great.
So if I bring it up there, that particular ministry will deal with it.
All right, excellent. Okay.
But we have to get the older persons to be able to look at our website or Facebook, and when there are issues, they can pass, not personal issues, but issues like what the lady just said there. You can put them on our Facebook. We have Instagram, Facebook, and
you have the website.
The website,
right.
Yes. And we're soon to get a personal telephone call, I think, that they can
the contact details.
Voice their issues.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We still have a caller in hold, but Miss Lucille will still be here. So, if it relates to what we're talking about, they will still be able to get their response if there's a question. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and Mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat Mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Miss Lucille is still in the studio with us. She is the chairperson of the Council for Older Persons. And while I've asked her to stay in the studio because we want to talk about other stuff as well, but we did have a caller, and I think that caller may have been calling about the topic that we're discussing. The call dropped. I would encourage that caller to call back if they so wish. I'm hoping that they didn't hang up simply because they thought the whole panel was leaving us. Meanwhile, this is something that someone sent in, from Monday to us. It says, "Good morning, Mr. Connor. There are people who are seriously suffering from suffering and require medical care and attention, but they can't afford to go to a doctor. That's one of the reasons that we're losing so many of our Caymanians. We need honest and urgent attention by the right persons who care and understand these persons." And I got a similar call as well, and I said to the person, you should show up. Go to the doctor. Now, you may not be able to go to a private doctor, but show up at the hospital because their Hippocratic oath does not, it says do no harm. So they should at least provide you with the basics. Sure. But if you show up at the hospital, there is if it isn't a legal one, there's a moral obligation on the government of the Cayman Islands and the health services authorities owned by the government of the Cayman Islands to provide you with medical assistance. Would you agree with that, Ms. Lucille?
Course, yes, but now they are writing the health policy. They now
bring that mic down a little bit.
They're now developing the health policy, so this is a good time, OC, to put that in. The other day they had a meeting. I happened to have attended it, and they want to hear from people about what are some of the issues, and what we should put in the health policy in the Cayman Islands. And I spoke most about older persons and how the health was health. It was so expensive, and also we had so many doctors on the island, and yet some of our people can't get attended to.
Yeah, and we heard the chief medical officer right on my show the other day talk about the cost of healthcare in the Cayman Islands, that it is so expensive and so high. But yet we have so many doctors as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning, Miss Lucille.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I want to touch on very briefly on two issues that Dr. Steve mentioned. I always love to listen to him because of the perspective that he has. And he's mentioned this thing about how there are a lot of jobs which don't involve physical exertion and which could be done by seniors, and that they are not being given to them. You see, and then I think about the latest information that there's something like 1,400 Caymanians who are unemployed. I mean, how does that make sense? Okay, not just in general terms, but also in terms of the matter that he has mentioned. And he mentioned another thing that is dear to my heart, which is, I don't know if dear to my heart is the right way to express it, about the judiciary and how the judges can stay on for as long as they want. And yet people in government, some of whom need to stay in a job maybe another 3 to 4 years, are being made to retire at 65.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the judiciary in the first place, what they did was they had the Constitution amended surreptitiously, in my view, to ensure that they can stay on until they are 70 years old. That is the judges.
And what was the justification for that?
Well, I don't know, frankly, if there was any justification for it, because if anything, I would say judges should retire at 60 because of how stressful and how much energy they require. I think somebody who just opens a door at a building can stay until they are 80. A judge, I think, must go, and if we want to get into that level of detail, a judge must go even earlier because of what is required, of the job. Okay, but basically, to answer your question, I don't think there was any real justification for that. And here we are now. I'm sorry I have to mention the Chief Justice Smelly, who retired at 70, and now they've even put him at a higher court. He is now a Court of Appeal judge. You see, in Cayman, we have to start addressing the issues. The problem in Cayman, I think, and let me close on this, OC. The problem in Cayman, I don't think that government is really accountable. It is not accountable to the extent that it should be, because they are doing good things here and there. But I do not believe that there's any government, whether it is the current government or any of the previous governments, who have wanted to solve the fundamental problems, work permits and immigration. They are not doing that. It's all very good to put together an old people's council. They do good work. They promote certain things as they are doing here today. But ultimately, you have to address the nitty-gritty, like what Dr. Steve said. What do you do to give them jobs of a type which they can do even after they are retired? In Cayman, the problem is because I think the government has been captured by the private sector. They are not doing what the people want them to do. They are doing what the private sector wants them to do. The country has been sold out. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel. But thanks very much. I'll let you go.
Thank you very much, Billy. Miss Lucille?
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to say, let me talk about the civil servants. The Civil Service Association can discuss these issues. They have a large body there, nearly 2,000-3,000 persons, and to look at the whole question of increasing the pension age, or looking at the conditions under which people work. The judicial, they come under different.
Judiciary?
The judiciary come under something different. So they argue for themselves. So if they can argue for themselves, the civil service should be able to argue for themselves too. So I would say to the Civil Service Association to look into it. But I've spoken to you earlier about retirement, and I've written to the civil service myself to tell them about the people that we are retiring now, who are in their 60s and young and healthy, and they don't have any jobs and they don't have any money. So, and also we too, as individuals and as a group, must be able to fight the cause. Whether we want to protest or we want to do whatever, I always tell people, one of the biggest war that will happen in Cayman is when the retirees start to have a war. But they need to get together, and they need UOC should fight for them.
Advocate more, yes.
Through here, advocate for them through here. I would. Do the civil servants want to work longer? Would they like to increase to 70? That's another thing. You hear fighting, and they might say, "No, I want to go home."
Yeah.
Everybody tells me, "Oh, I'm dying to retire," and I say to them, "Don't ever think about retirement.
Yeah.
Think about retirement."
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to go into the same job that you were in before. You can go into something else. But and maybe at the civil service level, what they may need to do, let's say the 10 years before you retire, you talk about money sense and that sort of thing, and your future, what you need to do, how you need to help you with your pension, whether you need to downscale your house, or if you don't have any family in it. These are things that you need that personal interaction with the civil service. I can only speak for the civil service because I was one of them.
Yep.
And I think when we were there and I was the president, we did a lot of bargaining with the government to get more money. And we need to do that, OCU too.
Yeah. Definitely.
So.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we're talking about our older folks. We're going to talk about some of our youngsters as well. In particular, I want to share with you this article from the Compass. Jazz Pitcairn, part of writing team, earning NAACP Image Award. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, K-Man, this is Pastor Alcini Banks. I want to invite you to come out and join us on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 for March for Jesus. I remember those events from years past, and I'm so happy we're doing them again. So join us on Saturday, May 18th, March for Jesus, celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ.
For more information, visit Christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the Postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. One of our listeners has sent a WhatsApp message wanting to know if we're taking calls. I would encourage them to call. Oh, okay. The call is on. Let's take the caller before I share this article, but I want to have enough time to share this article with about Jazz Pitcairn as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, Miss Lucille. Miss Lucille, I really appreciate you coming on this morning to speak about the elderly. Unfortunately, both my parents have passed on, but you know, this is something that is dear to my heart. And one of the things that I didn't hear, I'm not saying it wasn't mentioned, but I didn't hear it mentioned, is that with elderly people, especially if they're, you know, with dementia or Alzheimer's, apart from their other ailments, some of the most dangerous things that they can have to deal with is some of their relatives. And I don't see any social workers coming around to visit, to talk to the person in the absence of maybe their children or their spouse, you know, because they're going to be afraid to say it in their presence. And, you know, to hear from their point of view how they're being treated and assess whether the person is happy, comfortable, being cared for properly, getting the proper medical attention that they should be getting, and not what, you know, those that are around them think they should be getting, or diagnosing them based on what they want, you know, to be the issue. And then I would go to another thing to say, legally, those who still have their faculties, perhaps they could be educated on how to prepare for, you know, I guess you would say afterlife, or when that time comes. And my advice to anyone would be, if you're doing a will, make sure you know who your executor is, not someone that you love or because it's your child or your sister or your brother, but someone that's going to respect the wishes that you put in there. I've seen people overruled on that because of emotions. They do what they want to do, not what you have asked to be done. You know, for example, a person might want to be cremated rather than being buried, but because the family member don't want a cremation, they will bury them. So little things like that, I think, you know, these older people or those of us who are aging, you know, that don't know, could be educated on. A lot of our elderly people have died from loneliness and brokenheartedness, not necessarily their ailments killed them. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you for coming on to talk about this. I'm sure you'll do it some more in the future. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Miss Lucille.
Thank you, Brenda. We did mention regarding our forum that we're having for the first time on June the 15th from 8:30 to 3. And all of those things we will have people coming on talking about wills and issues such as that. Whenever anyone calls me as a chairperson, I have to call the social workers to talk to these people, because once I report it, I can't interfere in client-patient relationship, communication or relationship. But I made a point to speak to the older persons unit regarding the whole question of more visitations. And that is one of the reasons that we are having this forum, so that we can have people to be more age-friendly towards our older persons. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have one more caller. Just before we go to that caller, I'm going to try to squeeze them in. This person says the retirees that return to the government are usually not Caymanians. That's one of the reasons why foreigners are employed by government instead of the private sector. It's the benefits to them and their dependents and their retirement as well. And then this other person says to remind Miss Lucille that blasphemous or obscene language on licensed premises is a breach of the liquor license in Act Section 26, subsection 3. The problem is a lack of enforcement. And of course, you know, you can't have a police or an enforcement officer, you know, everywhere. So you have to really convince people to, to police themselves.
There has to be a constant reminder.
Yes.
To these places.
Yep. Let's grab the caller, and I still want to do the Jazz Pitcairn thing as well.
Definitely.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. I'm going to ask you to try to please be brief, because we have one more thing we want to cover. Go right ahead.
Okay, Mr. O.C. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Is the other lady there as well?
No, just Miss Lucille.
Just Miss Lucille. Good morning, Miss Lucille.
Good morning.
I remember you being my teacher.
Come now. You're telling my age.
No, I'm up there too. So I'm glad to be this age. But your last caller, she was so right. I ran into Miss Kay Powery, Mr. Cresswell's wife at Foster's, and she was saying that Mr. Cresswell been sick, flat on his back, can't do anything for himself for the last 2 years. He was a immigration officer. He was a policeman. He was also a seaman. Nobody visit. Nobody. But a lot of that, not altogether, the social services, that not only fall on them. What about the many churches in this island, or these islands, I must say, but we're talking about mostly Caymanback and Grand Cayman. What about them? They don't pay no visit. I have a 95-year-old aunt, and she got went to church all her life until the past 8-10 years. Finally, you got to request that you need to go and visit these people? No. And what Miss Brenda said before, a lot of them die from loneliness. I would say this. Her mother was a social butterfly. Nicest person nicest old person. She did everything until she couldn't do it anymore. But she was a social butterfly. We need more churches instead of just gathering to collect money. We need more churches to not more churches, but need more people that call themselves Christian to participate in visiting the elderly people, the sick, the hospitals. The only one I see visiting the hospital, not saying it's not happening, but is Mr. Rupert Ackerman that goes and play guitar, sing, and read scriptures and stuff at HSA and Health City as well.
Okay.
We need the churches to participate with the elderly. Remember where they're making their money from.
Got you. Caller?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Okay. I have one more a birthday shout out that I need to squeeze in as well. This person said that they would like to send happy birthday greetings to their wonderful husband, Mr. George Webb. Today is your special day. Wishing you a long and healthy life and all that God has in store for you. May you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. Your wife says she loves you to the moon and back. Enjoy your special day. And Paul, they want to know whether or not it is possible for you to play Ride Out Your Storm, if that is possible, if you can find that during the music section as well, or we can tell the doctor to play that as well. Okay, very quickly now, I'm going to read fast, but we want to give a big shout out to Miss Jazz Pitcairn. She's the daughter of Miss Teresa Pitcairn, who occasionally is on For the Record, as well. I say occasionally because I can't get her on as much as we would like to because of, other commitments that we have. So this article in the Cayman Compass says a Black Lady sketch show, a U.S. television production of which Jazz Pitcairn is a writer, has recently won an NAACP Image Award. The latest accolade comes on the heels of Pitcairn, 25, being nominated for several awards for her short film Ivan, which was loosely based on her family's experience during the 2004 hurricane. The annual National Association for the Advancement of Colored People Image Awards celebrates the outstanding achievements and performances across more than 40 competitive categories, including music, film, television, and streaming, music, literature, and podcasts. Pitcairn, at 23, was the youngest person to write for the half-hour sketch comedy starring Robin Thede, which took the 2024 Image Award for Outstanding Variety Show, Series, or a Special. She was initially hired as an assistant, but was promoted to staff writer for season 4. She wrote 6 episodes. She's quoted as saying, "I'm so excited to see a Black Lady sketch show be recognized by the NAACP." That's what she told the Compass. She says, "It's an incredible honor and one that I'm so proud to share with the entire team." She added, "This show means so much to me as it was my first opportunity to write for television and really kick-started my career in the film television space." Pitcairn studied film and television at New York University, graduating in 2021. The news of the latest award was shared on the university's alumni newsletter. Ivan premiered in 2023 and won Best Score for an international film at the 2024 Garden State Film Festival for Force of Nature, composed by Fatty Curry and performed by Curry and Pierce Constanti. It was also nominated in 2023 for Best Short Film and Best Environment Short Film. In addition, it had previously been nominated for the 2023 Hollywood Music and Media Awards for the Best Score in a Short series. I think I can read the last part as well. Pitcairn is working on developing a full-length feature film for Ivan, for which she is involved in 2 different fellowships, the NYU Production Lab and the 4th Annual Woodstock Filmmakers Residency and Incubator. So here we have another Caymanian making their mark in the film industry, along with, of course, our iconic Franco Flowers. Miss Lucille, an opportunity for you for some closing comments. Say whatever you want, as long as it's not libelous.
you know, but I have to comment on that.
Yes.
That is such great news from our own people.
Yes.
It is, and, well, she had to be bright. She belongs to Teresa. But that's great. You know, it gives you goosebumps, to know, you know, and that our people can go into these universities and do so well. And we need this sort of thing on filmmaking. We have Frankie, and then who else is, you know, and now we have Jazz.
Yes.
This is great news.
It is.
We're getting there.
Yep.
And we have another actress, what's her name again? Miss McCoy's granddaughter, Grace. Is it Grace?
Yes. Grace.
So very
mm-hmm.
very well. This is good. I'm glad you read this, and you should talk about it a little more somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get some of the young people maybe to come in and talk about it.
Okay.
Or some of the educators.
Yes.
Because she was educated here early, which is nice.
Okay.
And I want to congratulate John and Teresa for having such a brilliant girl.
Yes. Miss Lucille, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. We have to get you on here more often as well. And when you can't get on, go jump on that telephone and you know, converse with us right here on For the Record.
Well, sometimes I have issues with my radio.
Oh, okay.
With my phone. But I'll do that.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, and everybody enjoy Emancipation Day and enjoy the rest of the...
And stay safe, yes.
Thank you.
Folks, I want to thank you all as well. We've gone over the time, so very quickly I want to say to you, enjoy the weekend as well. Please stay safe. Remember, we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and we ask you to extend a helping hand to them, especially our older persons, you know, as well. I urge you, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So we urge you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And March for Jesus. 18th of May, visit Christian.ky for more information.